What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Today we got this 2005 Nissan Murano. If you got the same setup, all the Nissan Maximas, the Muranos, they're pretty much similar. This is a 6-cylinder, and we have a misfire, cylinder 1 misfire. So it's obviously we have no idea where cylinder 1 is, but I am going to show you. The code is p0301. So if you have a code p0301, that's cylinder 1 misfire. p0302 would be cylinder number 2 misfire. Where is number 2? I'm going to show you all that. p0303 would be 3. p0304 would be cylinder 4. p0305 would be cylinder 5. p0306 would be cylinder 6. So where are the cylinder? Okay, this is what we're looking at. This is the engine. If you look at the belts are here. So always the right side of the engine is cylinder 1 on these Nissan. So the first one back there is cylinder number 1. Okay, that's how simple it is to figure out which one. But I want to show you where the rest of the cylinders are. Okay, this is cylinder 1, p0301. This is cylinder 2, so p0302, p0303, p0304, p0305, p0306. So cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how simple it is. Okay, so what we're looking at here is cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4 right in the middle, 5 all the way in the back, 6. So this car is not so easy to work on. So what we need to do is, first we're going to take off this cover. We're going to remove the duct pipe. We're going to disconnect the throttle body. What I like to do with the throttle body is I like to take off the 4 bolts and leave the throttle body there, because I do not like to see any antifreeze, anything leaking. All right, a whole bunch of vacuum pipes we're gonna take off, and we're gonna start this job immediately. Okay, so let's remove this cover. You're gonna need this torque here. This is what number is this? Can't see the number. It's too shiny. The light's too shiny. 5 millimeter. This is 5. So this comes off. I don't want to put my bolts here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bolts somewhere else. I'll leave it right there. I don't want to put nothing on top over here, because I don't want nothing dropping inside the block. Once everything is loose, take that off. And you got one back over here. Also, you should have one over here, but this one is missing. So let's take this off, and let's take this guy off. Once you have all this off, your cover should simply just come right off. Just like that. All right, now this is where the real job starts. Okay, this has brackets in the back. They're tough to get to, and it does have vacuum line back there for the brake booster. So that's very important. You do not want to lose that vacuum line. That's the line coming from the booster over here, because if you disconnect that line, you better put it back, or your brakes are not gonna work. Also, we're gonna start the job by taking off this air duct housing over here. So I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna remove this bolt here, and I should be able to push this off. And I'm gonna take off this clamp here and take off this right here, and the whole thing should just come off. Okay, so let's take off this little guy. Loosen it, not take it off completely. Let's loosen it up from right here. And now we should be able to take off this duct pipe from both ends. So I'm gonna get this off, then I'll show you, but we still need to take off this little guy right here, this vacuum pipe here. Okay, so this comes right off, and then your vacuum pipe should come off. Just try not to break this end, because it can break. Take it easy. I have one hand, guys. I had to do it like that. But let's pop off. Let's open up these screws a little bit more, and that one. And your duct pipe should come off. This side, it might be hard. If the plastic is hard, so it's not gonna come out that easy. You might want to break it loose a little bit with your flathead here. All right, so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off, because I do need my other hand, and this should pop off, and the whole thing should come off. All I did was held here, and I popped this open, and check this out. The whole thing comes right off, and leave that to the side. All right, from here on, what I'm gonna do is there's a I'm gonna take off. Do not disconnect this, okay? I did not disconnect the battery because you're gonna lose memory on the idle on this thing. So what we're gonna do is I am gonna take off this vacuum pipe off right here. Take it easy. It's a plastic valve, so take it easy when you remove this hose here. And if you want it, you can take it off on the other end, but I think it should be easier here for me. And also, I can't even get this guy on there. All right, just move that hose around a little bit, and once you move it around, this guy should come out. This is plastic. You don't want to put too much force on it. It will break. And that hose can stay there. And all we're going to do is we're not going to disconnect. We're not going to disconnect this. So all we need to do is take off the number 10 in the bottom, and this whole bracket comes off. Or you can take off the number 12 here, but then you have to remove the connector there. But we'll take off the number 10 in the bottom. Okay, so let's take off the number 10 in the bottom. Remember, do not put anything up over here, but you can select this side. And this thing should come off, and leave it right there. And okay, next we're gonna take off this throttle body, and it has 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it does have coolant pipes down here. If you want to take those off, it's up to you. But you know what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna take off the throttle body. I'm gonna reach in the, you see there's 2 holes all the way over here. You see those? There's 2 number 12s back there, or 14s. Whatever the numbers are, take them off. You can reach them from over here. My camera's not gonna pick up on that. Okay, somebody worked on this before, so I think I'm in a little bit. Both missing. Both of the bolts in the back are missing. Okay, you can put your ratchet from right here, take them off, and as you can see, let me point again. They're right into that hole. Okay, next what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the 12 here. We're gonna take off the 10 here, remove this vacuum line, and remember, see this one with the curve? Make sure that one stays there. So let's keep that vacuum line back there. So somebody worked on this car and made our job a little bit easier, and we don't have bolts. But anyways, so far looking good. Okay, let's take off this and this next. Okay, so next we're gonna grab number 10. We're gonna take this off. Let's take this bolt off, put it to the side. Bam. Now we're gonna switch up with the sockets. Let's switch up the sockets. And I have a number 12 here. And that guy comes off. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, let's put this bolt right there. Remember, the 2 bolts back there are gonna be the hardest one. I'll show you on my computer because this is already torn apart and we're not doing nothing. So all I did was took this stuff and move it to the side. Now we got 12 here, 12 here, 12 here, 12 here, 12 there. And the whole intake should move forward a little bit. Remember, we do have vacuum lines in the back. Okay, next, I don't like to use power tools when I put things back together on these main bolts. But let's take off this, let's loosen this. Let's loosen this. Okay, this one I'm gonna smack a little bit. I don't want to lose the bolt, the nut. Same thing here, though that one was loose to begin with because I never touched that. So somebody was in here working. This comes off. Remember, now is the part you don't want to drop nothing in the engine, so be careful. If there's anything that's laying around, anything metal, if somebody worked on it before and they left bolts here, you might want to take them apart right now. This one comes off. So that's all there is, and intake should be moving after this. We're gonna fix that misfire today. This car's gonna run like brand new, like it came out of the manufacturer. 0 mile on the engine. And this guy comes off. Now, my friend here is standing here. He's gonna help me. My friend. All right, so he's gonna lift, move your hands. You see this? We're gonna go above this stud and this stud. Okay. Ready?
Already.
Both sides together. You have to go together on both sides. There you go. And that's how simple it is. Okay, right back here, you see this? This is your vacuum line, okay? We're gonna take off this vacuum line, but this is the line that goes to the booster. And what you wanna do is you wanna bring the clamp, you can do it by hand, towards you, just like that. Just turn it, and then take off that clamp. Make sure this clamp is good when you put it back. This line is the brake line. This is what gives you the booster power. And we're gonna take off the hose. So I'm gonna just slip that hose off, and that's it. And we're gonna come back. Okay, as you can see, your intake has moved. I am not completely taking it off because I am not gonna be working on the 3 other ignition coils. Customer declined to work on the other 3 coils because I like to do everything back there, change the plugs and everything. And your whole intake is not gonna move all the way around because, as you can see, you still got this connector here. You don't wanna break. You got the coolant pipes. All right, so that's all you need, just a little bit of space. So if you have a cylinder number misfire, this is the ignition coil right there. That's the one I'm gonna take out, put another one in, and that's it. If you wanna do cylinder 1, you're gonna work on that. This is cylinder 2, and the 3 one will be in the middle, and then the 4, and the 5th one will be the last one. So I'm gonna take off the ignition coil, change it, and you're gonna see me, and all it has is a number 10. There's a number 10 bolt. Just like this one right here, there's a number 10 bolt and a connector. You take that off. You're not gonna see me do that part, but all you do is take that off and swap up the ignition coil. Okay, now what we're gonna do is you're gonna need a number 10. This extension is too long. I was gonna use this, but it's too long. As you can see, it's too long. Okay, I'm gonna get a shorter extension, and we're gonna put this ratchet in there. All right, so we're gonna get this. Make sure you not to drop anything in there. So when you're taking off that bolt, make sure you grab it really firm and bring it out. From right here, you should be able to loosen up that bolt and remove that bolt completely. Don't yank it. Don't yank it. And there you go. It's loose. My friend is over here holding, and I'm telling him not to yank it because I got wires on the other side. You don't want to stretch the wires on the throttle body. And here comes the bolt for this ignition coil. There it is. Take it, throw it away. Meaning don't keep it here because you don't want to drop it from here to inside the block. Okay, so next we got the ignition coil with the harness, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna push down on the connector and remove the harness. Of the connector. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna push on this connector. Again, I'm gonna repeat, this vacuum line here is the brake line. Do not forget that. And the ignition coil is gonna come out. So this customer, I explained to him, if there's any oil on this ignition coil, then we have a problem with the valve cover seals. But he's lucky, no oil. That's a good thing. Okay, so we're gonna get another coil and drop that in. All right, my friends, got my friend over here helping me. Look at his Rolex. All right, we got the scissor here. I'm not gonna cut no hairs, but okay, I bought this ignition coil, Denso, and there's the part number right there. That's what I'm using. This thing is not cheap, okay? Don't try to use a cheap ignition coil. This thing is almost like 80 bucks. My friend here is gonna open this for me. Okay, this is tape here. Cut that tape open. Let's bring out the ignition coil.
Open?
Yup, open it. Right here, there's a tape here. Just slice it.
Slice it?
Yep. I'll just rip the whole box. I don't care. All right, inside we got the ignition coil. Some of these ignition coils do have different connectors, so get the correct part number, but these are looking same. Like all of these are the same, okay? You could use this on each cylinder, okay? So we'd work in the back. All right, so in the back, we're gonna take this ignition coil and we're gonna simply take this, drop it in there. Before you go all the way down, make sure it's okay, I don't need to move that. Let's put the connector in, okay? Right here, it's gonna click. Make sure you hear that click. If you don't hear that click, your ignition coil is not in. And I might have to do it off camera because I need my second hand. But I do want to do it right here so you guys can hear. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it off the camera a little bit. So I'm all working in there. That's all I'm doing. It's all inside right there. Okay, I got my connector in there, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push the ignition coil down to the angle that it's supposed to be at, and make sure with the harness, and the lip sits, the ear sits right where the bolt goes. Okay, so all I need to get is my bolt and drop it in there. So remember, I threw the bolt on the floor here. Do not drop anything this way. Try to go around it, because if you drop anything in there, forget about it. Good luck trying to take it off, and you might damage the engine. And there's our ignition coil. And my friend handed me the tool. He's already ahead of me. And we're gonna lock the bolt down. Remember, there's also a PCV valve back here. Sometimes the PCV valve pipe might come off if you're working just like this. So there's 3 ignition coils in the back. You would do the same thing for each one. Just like I took off this bolt and removed the connector, you work on the second one, bolt and a connector, bolt and a connector. You can also change the spark plugs, but it all depends on the customer. Now, reverse procedure, okay? What I want my friend here to do is put your hand over here, because I'm gonna push the pipe in. I don't want the intake to move. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this vacuum line here, I'm gonna push it forward, and this is very important, this pipe. This is your brake line here. Not the brake line, but the vacuum line to the brake booster. Make sure you get it all the way, and then make sure you put your clamp on. That's the first thing I always do. Right now it's a reverse procedure from here on. There you go. Perfect. Okay, now it's time for us to put the intake back together. So we're gonna slowly put it back in there, and make sure your seal here, intake seal, if you took it apart, make sure it's good, because you don't want no vacuum leaking in there. Okay, ready? Let's lift it together. My friend is gonna help me here. We're gonna lift this together, and we're gonna slowly drop it in. Let me see that side.
It's coming. Okay.
Okay, it's going. So all we need to do is go down, bada bing, bada boom. All right. Nope, no, nothing. Okay. That's it. That's my job. The rest of it. Okay. He wanted to help me, but this goes. Okay. I'll fix that. All right. So first, we're gonna put the nut here, the bolts. So 1, 2, 3, nut, and then we're gonna tighten it. Okay. My friend is helping me here. Reverse procedure. We're gonna put the nut there. The bolt goes here. It's gonna make things fast for us. There you go. All right. And the nut here. So what I like to do from here on is I like to tighten things by hand. So let's snug these as much as you can. I do not use my impact gun here, okay? Okay, now we're gonna tighten this little guy. Slowly snug it, snug it, snug it, and snug it. Oops. Snug it. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten the middle bolt. If you need torque specs, I can get it for you, but I like to tighten these by hand. Been doing it for years. That one feels good. This one feels good. This one feels good. And this is the last one. Feels good. All right, so work your way out, okay? Work your way out. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this little guy right here, and you're gonna take this little guy right here. Remember, the vacuum line with the curve I showed you goes to this little guy. The other one goes over here. You don't want to leave any vacuum lines behind right now. All right, and we're gonna put number 10 on this little guy and number 12 on that. Okay, so he's gonna put number 12 there, and I'm gonna put number 10 right here. And after that, I'm gonna just knock them down with my impact gun. So this one tightens over here, nice and tight. Next step, we got the 10 millimeter. Oh, where'd it go? Right here. We got one more bolt to put in. Right now, we don't have any fear dropping anything in the engine because everything is locked down. All right, we got one bolt right there. This goes in the bottom right here. Right there. And it's gonna lock this evap solenoid down. And remember, we took off the pipe of this one. This pipe goes right there. This pipe goes into that, but I still need to tighten this little guy. Let me finish this out. The job is well done, guys. All we need to do is put the air duct pipe, and we're good to go. Yep.
Push.
It goes in, and that little clamp goes on. The little clamp. Remember to test your brakes. Don't go crazy. Don't go on the road yet. Test your brakes. Your booster should be good. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cover in. Scissor out of here. Alright, so do not stretch this line here. Do not stretch the coolant pipes. And remember, there's 2 bolts back over here. You could get them from right back over here with the extension. And they're all the way in the back. That's holding, it's a bracket in the back. I'm going to see if I can look that up in the computer and give you a little bit information on that. But anyways, this little guy comes in. And all we're going to do is, we're going to put that end in there. And this end over here. Okay, so once we have that in, now we're gonna tighten this little guy up. It's not gonna move, it's okay. And then we got that one right there. So never leave your duct pipe loose because it's gonna suck vacuum. And make sure there's no cracks on this pipe. You will have lean conditions if there's any cracks over here. So pay attention to that. That's it, we're done there. Don't forget your vacuum pipe over here. Okay, this one is very important to do it correctly because you don't want to break the neck of this. Okay, just lift this up and then you should be able to put this pipe in. Stick it in. Okay, push it in for me. That's it. Put the connector on. My friend here just became a mechanic. Up to here. Bada bing, bada boom, shebang, we're all done. Thank you for watching, guys. Test out your car. Everything should be good from here on. Make sure you do not leave any vacuum lines loose.